Did you realize that ये जो India है ना, it has become a little smaller and China just got a bit bigger? It is now clear we have lost control of land on our side of the line of actual control, or the LAC, at Depsang, at Galwan Valley and at Pangong Lake in eastern Ladakh, and at least 3 areas along our border with China in Arunachal Pradesh as well. The first step to getting any of this land back would be for the Indian government to categorically accept that, contrary to the PM's no intrusion remarks, substantial incursions have taken place while this Sarkar looked away. How else will all this land grab make it to the negotiation table? But first, here is an updated list of the great Chinese land grab. Number 1 is close to the northern end of the LAC in eastern Ladakh at Depsang. My colleague Nishtha Gautam reports that the Chinese army now controls a crucial Y junction near the ITBP's Burtse camp, about 15 kilometers within India's side of the LAC. It's also known as bottleneck because ITBP soldiers headed for patrol points 10, 11, 12 or 13 must cross this junction. Earlier, both armies patrolled the area, but the Chinese have stopped ITBP from going past this point since April. Did the Indian government take it up with China then, or has it taken it up now? We have no answers. Instead, sources say ITBP has been told to avoid clashes and simply not patrol points 10, 11, 12 and 13. Also, the Chinese have done this before. They occupied this same Y Junction and Raki Nala area in 2013 as well, but were pushed back in 21 days. But this time, 90 days have gone by and they are still there. Also note, control over Depsang allows China to threaten India's crucial Daulat Beg Oldie Air Base, that is 30 kilometers to the north, and it's a lifeline for our troops at the Siachen Glacier. Also, India's presence at Depsang keeps our forces within striking distance of the Karakoram Pass that China controls. So, that was land grab number 1, several kilometers inside India at Depsang. Now, look at China's land grab number 2 at the Galwan Valley, exactly at patrol point 14, where India lost 20 of its soldiers within days of the clash. Even as generals and diplomats were in talks, the Chinese set up a larger camp with gun positions in place of the observation post that Indian troops had destroyed on the 15th of June. That is what the latest satellite images and ground reports show. And since patrol point 14 is on India's side of the LAC, this is an intrusion. Also note, at the negotiation table, China has already moved the goalposts by shifting their perception of the LAC. They now claim all of the Galwan River Valley right up to its meeting point with the Shyok River. Control of the Galwan hilltops will allow China to threaten India's critical Darbuk Shyok Daulat Beg Oldie Road, the DSDBO road. So is this land grab something that India can accept? No. Next, China's land grab number 3 on the north shore of Pangong So. That's been talked about a fair bit and is well documented as well. The Chinese army now controls the area between Finger 4 and Finger 8, 8 kilometers to the west of the LAC that passes through Finger 8. Indian army patrols are now stopped at Finger 4, no longer allowed to patrol till Finger 8. That is 40 square kilometers of Indian territory no longer in our control. China has built army posts all over this former no man's land, on the ridges and along the lake. And latest reports in the Indian Express suggest there is now even a Chinese helipad at Finger 4. While Indian army sources claim to have matched the PLA's additional deployments of troops, artillery guns and armored vehicles at every sector along the LAC in Ladakh, the fact is China has occupied strategically critical chunks of Indian territory already and want us to accept this as the new status quo. Now, let's shift our attention 2,000 kilometers east to Arunachal Pradesh. China claims all of Arunachal as Chinese territory, a claim that India rejects. Arunachal's northern borders, also known as the McMahon Line, are India's borders with China, which it expects China to respect. But as journalist Rajiv Bhattacharya, writing for the Quint, reports, China has intruded into Indian territory in Arunachal as well. Bhattacharya lists 3 substantial intrusions about which successive Indian governments have done almost nothing. So, China's land grab number 4 is at Arunachal's ANJAW district. Apart from many new roads and increased troop deployments on the Chinese side, the PLA has also occupied Indian territory at Chaglagam, constructing a bridge over a stream. Also, since 2009, the Chinese have occupied a feature known as 100 Hill at Kaho, all in ANJAW district, and this is something locals reconfirmed to Bhattacharya in 2019 as well. Land grab number 5, just west of ANJAW district, is the Dibang Valley district. Here too, right along the border, an area called the ANDRELLA Valley has been occupied by China. Land grab number 6 has happened in the upper Subansiri district at Asafila, Longju, Disa and Maja. Local officials say the PLA has advanced across the border bit by bit here since 1980 and is now 50 to 60 kilometers inside Indian territory. Ironically, these land grabs were highlighted in 2019 by Arunachal's BJP MP Tapir Gao, but his own senior colleague and former Minister of State for Home, Kiren Rijiju, then said, "No intrusions." One hopes Rijiju's claims are not demolished by facts on the ground, just like the PM's no intrusion remark has been challenged recently. The other problem in Arunachal is that the border areas at ANJAW, Dibang Valley and Upper Subansiri have poor or no roads, and the Indian Army has very few posts there. And the Chinese land grab, quite cleverly, is happening where the Indian Army is almost absent. But why is the Indian government in denial about Chinese intrusions in Arunachal? We don't know. Is there a plan to up the army's presence in these areas? Again, we don't know. Ye jo India hai na, it is clearly struggling to deal with China's systematic land grab in Ladakh and Arunachal. And the more we hesitate, the more we stand to lose.